Hey guys, Brandon here. Welcome back to another episode of YouTuber Big Brother. Before we start, first of all, I'd like to apologize for my voice. I was in Toronto over the last few days. I was at WWE SummerSlam and I kind of left my voice in Canada. It happens, whatever. Anyways, I did already film this video, but looking back at while I was editing, I was like, I kind of want to intro this video a little bit differently. So if you guys missed the last episode of YouTuber Big Brother, make sure you guys click up here in the card to watch it before you watch this episode, so you guys aren't lost when you're watching it. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoy. I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, Brandon here, and welcome back to YouTuber Big Brother. Earlier in the week, we saw that Brandon won the Head of Household competition and nominated Kayla L and Killerbot for eviction. However, at this point in the game, anybody can still be the first person to go home because we have yet to play the Power of Veto competition. But first, let's see how the Houseguests felt after the nomination ceremony.
Okay, this clown is taking it way too far now, y'all. I was a little bit late doing little diaries, you know, when I want to make up for it. Then I saw Brendan 2, or should I call him now the more beta and pathetic Brendan, try to nominate me to be eliminated because he's afraid of me. He is scared that I am tough competition for him. I'm a little too tough for him. Well, Brendan, sorry, gotta edit this out, Brendan, other Brendan, but if you can't stand the heat, then get the f*** out of the kitchen, brother. You are trying to get me out of the competition. Well, good luck there. I was gonna answer all those questions you sent me, other Brendan, but what this maniac did, what this fool tried to do to someone that he doesn't even know, that really grinds my gears. That really grinds my gears. And he hopes he better hope that I never see him in real life on the street, because I swear to God.
How do I feel about Brandon's nominations? I'm fine with his nominations because I'm not on the block.
How do I feel about Brandon's nominations? Really? Not very good, clearly, because I was one of the ones voted as one of the nominations. So obviously it's not a great feeling to be picked to be one of the ones that could possibly be eliminated, but hopefully I could get out of it and continue on in the game.
I thought the veto competition was fine. I knew going into it I was gonna throw it just because I didn't want a target on my back. Of course, I don't want to seem like a weak link, but when Brandon's in power and he's trying to get out big targets, I don't want that to be me, especially if someone wins the veto and they use it, then Brandon might put someone else who's strong up on the block. Again, don't want that to be me at all.
Clearly, I want to win the veto so I can get myself out of being nominated and put somebody else up for nominations.
Ideally, hopefully I or someone in my alliance get drawn and win veto. Obviously Brandon's going to be playing in veto because he's HOH, so that's already one person from the cleanup crew who is for sure going to play in veto. And yeah, hopefully the alliance wins veto and then we don't have to change the noms, because there's no reason to change the noms and there's no reason any of us should have to go on the block this week.
If I were to win the veto, I would definitely use it to get myself out of being nominated for eviction. Now, who I would use it on, I would try to keep all the wrestling YouTubers in the game so we could possibly work together, potentially, or something. You know, since we all have WWE and pro wrestling in common, you know, that could kind of keep us together. So if I were to use it on somebody, it would probably have to be either the other Kayla or Josh.
Alright guys, it is now time for the Power of Veto competition. The winner guarantees their safety and has the power to veto one of the current nominations. If the veto is used, then the head of household must name a replacement nominee. Only 6 people play in the Power of Veto competition. The head of household, the 2 nominees, and then 3 people selected by random draw. Playing in the veto competition this week along with Brandon, Killerbot, and Kayla L will be Wyatt, Josh, and Eric. This competition is called Twisted Sky, which is a mobile game where the ball rolls forward and you have to keep the balls on these platforms. The person with the highest score after 3 attempts will win the Power of Veto. Now let's see how the competition played out. So while editing this video, I realized that I did not get a lot of video submissions for the Power of Veto competition. I just got a lot of screenshots. So I'm just going to be reading off the screenshots, and I will be also telling you guys who the winner was. So last place with 7 points was Killerbot. Then we had Eric with 21 points. Then Josh with 29 points. Then Kayla L with 41 points. Then Wyatt with 43 points. Then Brandon with 151 points, meaning that he has won the golden Power of Veto. And yeah, since Brandon won the veto, not only does he have the Power of Veto, he also has the head of household win, which means that he is the most powerful person in the house right now, which means at the veto ceremony, he can just do whatever he wants. He could take someone off the block and then he can put up whoever he wants. But before we get to the veto meeting, let's see what the house guests think of Brandon's win.
You know, Brandon winning the veto is better for my game because he's just making himself look like such a big competitive beast that people are going to target him and not look at me. I'm more of a strategist. I'm more of a manipulator of sorts, or at least I'd like to think. So Brandon showing what is going on? So Brandon showing himself as a true competitor only puts a bigger target on his back. And that's great for my game. He can keep winning vetoes as long as I'm not the one going up. I am okay with that. As long as I'm not the target, I'm okay with that.
So Brandon won veto, dippity doo dah, go him. I don't think that's very smart of him. He just won 2 comps in a row. He's gonna be a huge target. So that's kind of not smart. But I mean, it's good for my game. Hopefully he doesn't use it, and hopefully he doesn't betray the alliance the first week, because that wouldn't be fun. But there's just no reason to use it right now. And if he uses it, I don't know why he would do that.
I don't think Brandon's going to use the veto because that would be really stupid on his part. He already had to nominate 2 people really early on in the game. Nominating another person, that's a bigger target on his back. So why would he use it? Plus, he already made 2 nominations. You should be strong with your nominations unless you're planning a backdoor. But I think it's really early for a backdoor. There's literally no one you should be going after. You should be thinking about yourself and not putting this huge target on your back.
The fact that Brandon won the veto makes me a little bit nervous, but also gives me a little confidence. You know, I have talked to Brandon in the past. We're not good friends, but we have talked. So I'm hoping I can convince him to use the veto and switch me out with somebody else, anybody. So hopefully things go my way.
Who would you want to see the replacement nominee if the veto is used? I would love to see X on the block, but I'm pretty sure that's not gonna happen because those 2 are f***ing buddies and they're stuck to each other like testicles. They ain't going anywhere.
Now in the end, do I think he's gonna use it? I think he will. I think one of us can be convincing enough to get him to switch one of us out. Now, who's gonna be able to convince him the most? I think the fact that I can use the fact that we're both wrestling YouTubers, we both love professional wrestling, WWE, I think I could use that as my advantage to get him to switch me with anybody else. In my opinion, I think the 2 that did not even participate in the first competition should be voted out, but you know, that's just my opinion.
Now it is time for the veto meeting. Killerbot and Kayla L have been nominated for eviction, but Brandon has the power to veto one of the nominees. Now let's take a look and see what Brandon has decided to do with the Power of Veto.
All right, so since I won the Power of Veto competition, I can either keep Kayla L and Killerbot exactly where they're at, or I can replace somebody. And to be honest, no offense, Killerbot, I have no issues with you, no beef, but Kayla L brings up a very, very great point about 2 people not even competing in the original head of household competition, and they should be put on the chopping block for that. So for that reason, this is just random selection. I'm not gonna pick anybody for any reason. I'm just gonna pick Eric. Eric did not compete in the first competition, therefore he should be penalized for that. So, Eric, you're up. It's gonna be Killerbot and Eric. There you go.
So obviously Brandon has decided to remove Kayla L from the block and replace her with Eric due to his inactivity in the first competition. Before we can get to the votes, I think it is very important for us to see what the house guests think of Brandon's new nomination.
So, I guess Brandon made the smart choice by using his veto to take me off for a possible eviction. Clearly I made a good point. Us wrestling fans have to stick together. So he has used his veto and taken me off and has replaced me for Eric. And honestly, I think that's a good choice because, it's not cool that, I was out there trying to participate in this game and Eric didn't even participate in the first game. So it only makes sense that I got switched out, and I'm glad I did.
First of all, I'd like to say that putting up Eric, one of the fucking dumbest moves you can make, man. Eric literally does nothing. Eric knows nothing about what's going on in this game. Putting up Eric, yeah, it's a good move for yourself, but thinking about it in the long term, I would rather get out someone who's a bigger threat than someone who's a fucking tiny ass mouse running around in the house not knowing what the is going on. Plain and simple.
So Brandon took down Kayla L and put up Eric. I don't really get why he did that, and I don't think he even really gets why he did that. I think he's just trying to play the game even though he doesn't really know what he's doing yet. I'm sure he'll learn, but there was just no reason to take her down. Like, there was no reason at all to do that. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't really get it. I'm not on the block at the end of the day. That's all that matters. I'm voting to evict who I think should go home first, and I don't know who that's gonna be yet, but we'll see.
And now it is time for the house guests to vote to evict. The head of household and the two nominees are not allowed to vote. But before we can get to the vote, I think it's good to see what Killerbot said to try to sway the votes of his fellow house guests.
Okay, I really hope this works. Alright. Oh, please, Brendan, do not kick me out. The reason number one being that I actually take part of the challenges. There's so many people in this stupid competition that have not done squat whatsoever. I'm easily one of the most active people, and I am easily one of the biggest personalities. Reason number two, I promise that I'll be loyal to you and all your services no matter what. And just also number three is that my life's a complete miserable train wreck. Please, please, Brendan, please don't kick me out, please. Okay, hopefully that's enough, but yeah, just like to stay, like have some goose and fun, so please don't kick me out. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. The order of votes was selected by a random draw. The first person who will be voting tonight is Kayla D, so let's hear what she has to say.
So I have to choose someone to be evicted, either Eric or Killerbot. I choose to evict Killerbot, mainly because he is good at competitions and challenges, and I am not that good, so I know I can't beat him. So yeah, I vote to evict Killerbot.
Up next, we have Connor's vote.
Why? Do not kick out Killerbot. Do not. Who else is gonna wipe my ass when I gotta take a shit?
I think I'm gonna count that as a vote against Eric. Is that what you guys got out of that? Because that's what I got out of that. Okay, anyways, the next person who's going to be voting is Kayla L.
Okay, so the time has come for me to put in my vote on who I am voting to be out of the competition. Before I get to who I choose, I'm gonna be doing the pros and cons of why each person either should or should not be eliminated. So first, we're gonna start with Killerbot. the person I was up against in elimination before Brandon decided to take me out of elimination. So basically, Killerbot, the pro of taking him out is that he is competition. You know, he has constantly beat me in competitions. It's always him and me right below. So, you know, I would be smart to take him out. But the con of taking him out is that he has actually been participating in this competition. Unlike our other person, Eric. First competition, he didn't even participate in. And that is why when I was basically fighting to stay in this competition, I told Brandon, why are you take somebody out who's actually competing? Why don't you take the person, one of the people who didn't even bother participating in the first challenge? So that is a pro why he should be eliminated and why he should be taken out of the game. A con is because, you know, since he doesn't participate, he'll be easy just to beat because he'll get eliminated after 3 strikes. But as far as making this competition interesting and actually making it something good for everyone to watch, I might regret this later on in the future, but I am voting to take out Eric and to keep Killerbot in the game.
As of right now, we have 2 votes to evict Eric and 1 vote to evict Killerbot. Up next voting is going to be X3.
So Killerbot and Eric on the chopping block, they're up to get evicted, and there was some points made. Eric did not compete in the head of household competition, but then again, Killerbot did come close to Brandon's score, so it's kind of like, do you want to weed out the weak and eliminate Eric since he didn't compete, or do you want to take out one of the competition early on in Killerbot? But then again, we don't even know how good Eric could be at the future games. He missed just 1. So, I mean, I'm gonna go. I think I might go Killerbot on this one. Maybe. You know what? Final answer. I'm gonna go with Eric. I'm gonna go with Eric.
The next person who's voting is Josh. Josh is actually in a pretty good spot right now. He's in 2 alliances. He's working with Brandon, the HOH, even though he might not really be the happiest person about it. But I still think that right now, the person he's going to be voting for is questionable. So let's take a look and see who Josh has decided to vote for.
I think you're a really great player, but I'm sorry, that's why I have to evict you. I vote to evict Killerbot.
Syra has began to form alliances in this game, including the cleanup crew and her alliance with Wyatt. It is pretty obvious that she will be voting with those alliances today.
I vote to evict Eric.
It's official with 4 votes to evict Eric. Eric will be leaving the YouTuber Big Brother house tonight, but let's see how Wyatt votes. Wyatt actually did not send in a video with his vote to evict, but he did send a text message, and as you guys can see, he voted to evict Eric. By a vote of 5-2, Eric has been the first person evicted from the YouTuber Big Brother house. Who will be the next person to win the head of household competition, and who will they nominate for eviction? Find out next time on YouTuber Big Brother, and that is it for the video, guys. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you guys are notified whenever I post new videos. I will see you guys next time with a new video. Goodbye.